Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. Minding you all to check out my Verbal Pick Radio Everyday People show will be on Channel 99 on AT&T Uverse and Channel 17 on Comcast on Saturday, August the 7th at 11:40 p.m. And these are August dates. The 7th at 11:40, August 9th at 9:40, August 10th at 8 p.m., August 11th at 8:30, August 12th at 7:30 p.m., and August 13th at 7:35 p.m. And this is the interview I did with Sabrina the model, who also featured in the show Blac's Journey. When we'll get into that in just a second, I just got to read you all something else. Also, the interview I did with 7-1 Tree Studios with D. Frazier, that will be airing August 18th, 19th, 23rd, 25th at 1 a.m. And then at midnight on the 26th, and which is that Thursday going into that Friday, and then that Saturday at 1 a.m. also. And that's the interview we did with 7-1 Tree. Why is it playing after midnight or midnight? Simply because there's some weed smoking in there, and on those particular channels, anything that might be considered provocative or whatnot is aired after midnight. So there you have it. Make sure you tune in. Now, the movie Blac's Journey right now is being featured on FlexNet TV, which is being distributed on FlexNet TV on the Black and Brown channel. So that's my distributor. And also you can view it on vcmfilms.gumroad.com, and gum is GUMROAD.com, vcmfilms.gumroad.com. And I mean, we didn't plan for it to be the success that it is. It's just blossoming, but the timing was so right. I mean, all the police brutality that was taking place against black people in America, and actually that's still going on today, is addressed in the movie. The George Floyd sentiment is addressed in the movie, but it's at a point to where the streets are saying, hey, let's gather guns, let's get armed to protect ourselves, because we can't afford to be out here dying in the streets. But one major factor is that we have to learn is emotions are good, right? It gives you a starting point, because whether you're using your anger or, you just fed up, you're sick and tired, and it generates that momentum to move, right? That's step one. But if there's no unity or no knowledge or a sense of purpose to actually achieve the goal, then you just left with the emotions. So we deal with that in the movie, because it's not a documentary, it's actually a movie. We deal with the struggle of the activist from an activist point who loves his people and wants to see the best for the people, but also has the gift to understand systemic racism and the hidden hands behind the scene that plays a part to keep the people divided. With the great task of knowing that, How do you unite the people when the hidden hand, the people that sits in positions of power who have a stake in disunification? How do you tie all that together and show the people how being unified will actually benefit the cause, right? And the mind, man, black mind in America is totally, purposely saturated, bombarded with foolishness all day, right? I mean, you have scientists who sit and figure out ways on how to keep black people from unifying, keep us divided, right? They'll come out with this new way of thinking, this new fad, this new clothing, this new style of battling on social media to where I don't like you, you don't like me, and then we see each other in the streets and there's a shootout. They know exactly what they're doing. Actually, they're shocked that it's still working. And so when you check out Blac's journey, you understand why Blac went on a mission, right? He went outside the states to seek help, right? Because sometimes you have to go outside for some clarity. Because when you in the funk, you can't see or have a vantage point of a better viewpoint from where you're standing. Sometimes you have to go out and climb on something and then look back in, and then you can say, okay, I see where we're going wrong at, and then find a scientific way to introduce new knowledge or introduce something that's or will be beneficial to everyone to where it makes sense. Because you just can't go and say, hey, I believe we should do this. And everybody's like, yeah, come on, let's go do it. No, you have to show and prove and why it would be better to be done a certain or particular way. And the benefit would have to outweigh what the people are clinging on to at the present for them in order to let go. Because if you're going to let go where you're at, you have to have something for them to grab a hold to pull themselves up. Because where they at, they familiar with and they know how to work that. And you coming with something new, saying, well, here, try this. And they like, okay, show me why. Right? How will this that you're presenting make my life better? Right? So you're going to enjoy the movie. Definitely. Now, black people, we're like veterans. We're like the vets, right, who fought in wars, right? And you know how the Vietnam War, the vets, they fought in Vietnam and they came back. Was disrespected, although they were protecting the country, right? Or by them fighting benefited the country, right? Same with black people. The fight for civil rights, the right to vote, all of that benefited the Hispanics, benefited the Asians, benefited women, benefited everybody that they call people of color or minorities, right? We black people got murdered, got scarred, got wounded, got brutalized for the right for everyone to have certain freedoms, right? And we took so much casualty loss and bodily loss and aches and pains fighting for everyone's freedom to the point to where it's like we're getting blamed or disrespected because people don't like the fact that we went out there and fought. So to see what they call minority race be critical and even racist towards black Americans, it just don't add up. It's like, dude, if we hadn't fought, you still be discriminated against. So you need to thank black people for the resiliency and the willingness to fight to the end. So not just black people can celebrate these freedoms. Asians, Hispanics, Italians, you name it. Women in general, due to the impact of the fight that we left in this country or left upon this country. You got to give it to us, right? Now, we have to be careful because it seems like they want to make black people the scapegoat for their failures, right? So we have to say, no, we're not going out like that. We're not going to be your scapegoat any longer, right? Black people, we need to start building, understanding the importance and the value of the tribe. It takes a village, right, to raise a child. Whether within that village is part of a tribe, right? And so, if you notice, I'm warming you up for something that's soon to come, and we're ironing out the details, but we're going to bring back that tribe, right? And make it not just a small tribe, a big tribe, right? And that'll give a sense of independency and freedom. But we're working on it. It's coming. But in the meantime, respect the journey, the agony, the heartbreak, the pain that black people had to go through so all other minorities can sit in their living room and enjoy a good show on their television. Right. Don't forget that. Now, I talked about Blac's journey in the movie. I want to play one of the songs off the soundtrack, Blac's journey.
Hey, we gonna ride on the 6. What's up, folks? I know. Hey, yo, famous. Our family, what's up, D-Rod? They don't stop. Hey, it's for the survive. We don't stop.
Reality always been a friend of me. Only thing I can trust, cause you niggas don't lie to me. Money is a must, that's obvious. We all can see hatred is real, but sometimes it's like fuel to me. I keep it going, stopping this like foreign to me. I'm up before the sun, while you niggas snoring heavily. I get it and I'm gone. Slipped into a time zone, bells and whistles on the boat with the firearms. Here comes the storm, here comes the sound. Lower the boom, we making landfall, I'm out and bound. I touched down, I ain't coming back. Crackers and bullshit, you can have that. I'm free, let me ride, can't wear out my welcome. Peace be unto you, assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you, assalamu alaikum.
When you bomb, they call before 9. Meet at the club with bottles of wine. But it's all love. Until you on top, the drink gon' be lonely. Your mama, your daddy, and mommy want homie. But it's all love. Now when I go out, they act like they know me. They say they 100, but they gotta show me. But it's all love. Yeah, I'm taking no losses. I'm running with bosses, suspects, people I'm always cautious. But it's all love. I believe in my grind, ain't trying to just shine. God got me, take that as a sign. Standing straight, cause I got me a spine. Hearing voices, I'm out of my mind. If it ain't paying, I probably decline. When I die, they gon' make me a shrine. If you been wondering, I'm doing fine. Still trying to learn how to travel through time. Drowning my pain and liquor and pine. I lost my chick and my brother done died. I'm trying to rebuild and get back what's mine. A smile on my face, but I'm dying inside. Most of these people be fibbing in line. I love the women, but they out of line. Who you can call when you get in the bind? Down and out and falling behind. When you ballin', they call before 9. Meet at the club with bottles of wine. But it's all love. Until you on top, the trip gon' be lonely. Your mama, your daddy, and mommy want home me. But it's all love. Now when I go out, they act like they know me. They say they 100, but they gotta show me. But it's all love. I'm taking no losses. I'm running with bosses, suspect people. I'm always cautious. But it's all love.
Yeah, you just heard it. That's the single off the soundtrack titled All Love. So, hey, there you have it. I mean, it's so much work to be done. I mean, that's why we do this show. But that's why we present certain topics and certain things that you may have seen taking place on your news channels, and then we'll come on the show and we'll talk about it because there's a different, I don't want to say angle, but I guess there's a different interpretation, right, than what the media will put out, because basically sometimes the media is controlled, so they have to stay on code or stay within certain guidelines. We don't have to do that here on Verbal Pick Radio. We can call it as we see it and also tell you why it's being done that way. You know, sometimes people say, well, you crazy, you know. Come on, man, why would there be a conspiracy against black people in America? Right? And it's just so many different reasons why. You know, we can take, for example, that a lot of what you see in America, as far as land and population, was black people that was already here before Columbus, right? A lot of places was representing black people, and the colonizers, let's call them that, had to come and change things around to make it look like he was already here, or he discovered it or uncovered certain things that we know now. But when you go back and do your history, I mean, you do your research, you'll find out that, wow, this was done by black people, right? So you start to question, I wonder, why did they purposely lie and try to paint over it and try to make this seem like it was the right person? Like for example, the Lone Ranger, right? Which was actually Bass Reeves, a black man. But why? What's the purpose of that? Because in order for white supremacy to work, then white people have to seem as though they're superior, right? And anything that comes and challenges that is a threat, right? So if I control the media, I can spin what I see and downplay it a little bit. That way I can still maintain control. So the purpose is not to get caught in the trap, and also to unify. But in Texas, black and brown, we don't have no problem unifying. You know what I mean? You're going to have some pockets or here or there where, you know, they wouldn't get along with anybody anyway. But for the most part, we basically cool. We basically unified, doing our things, right, in peace. But, you know, in this day and time, people don't want all of the headache and the stress that comes along with racism and police brutality. That's why people are fighting back. People don't have time for some racist cop to want to show his strength and stick his chest out and show he got the big bad black person on the concrete handcuffed and harassed. People don't have time for that no more, but we got things to do, so we don't have time to play into some of these officers' warped fantasies of choking or strangling a black man. Or just, it has no place in our society. And the people are fed up, and they're trying to make sure it doesn't take over the society. We'll put it like that. But thank you all for listening to Verbal Peak Radio. We're out.